Good afternoon, tubers. Matt M. Roy back once again. Finally back to you with the review of my 1996 Chevrolet Tahoe LS. It took me a little bit longer to get to here because there were a bunch of jobs I needed to do on it. And honestly, there's still a few different things that I need to finish up, but for the most part, she is totally together. This is the vehicle I picked up off of the Facebook virtual yard sale. I will let you guys know, you guys probably all know by now anyway, I wound up giving $1,000 for this, even, and I think it was a great deal. Now, let's go ahead and show you guys the front first. This is the GMT 400 platform, the Chevrolet Tahoe. It does have the towing package, so you have the two brackets on the front there. The bumper and everything is in really good shape. The previous owner had recently replaced some of these headlights, so they're actually really bright. The lenses are a little fogged up. That's one of the jobs I'm gonna have to take care of probably within the next week or so. This side's actually better, honestly. But I just love the look of this first generation Tahoe. The grille, the lights, everything, it just screams old school Chevy to me. Now, one of the bottom sides to this, the hood and the roof, needed some attention. I haven't had a chance to do anything with the hood yet. The hood will eventually need to be repainted, and that's not a big deal. I can get that taken care of locally at one of my shops, probably Maaco. Cost me a couple hundred to get that done. No biggie there. It's got one of these bug guards on it. Not usually my cup of tea, but I think it actually looks good on this particular vehicle. We'll go around. Sides are in good shape. Paint on the sides are really nice. You can see it does have the running boards there. It has Mastercraft Corsair ATX tires, which have a lot of life left on them. You can see that there's plenty of tread. I'd say at least 60-70% of the tread is left on those. Very clean underneath, like almost brand new with just surface rust. For a 96, there is no rot on this whatsoever. You know, everything is nice and solid right there. The fronts used to have the rain guards on them. They've long since gone. That's another job I'm going to tackle. I can get those on eBay really cheaply. I want to go ahead and replace them. The two on the front are missing, but the two for the rear doors are actually still on there. She does need a good cleaning. Again, I just recently acquired this vehicle, so I haven't had a chance to do everything yet. The main reason I picked this up was to go ahead and find something to put my Thule bike rack on, and I must say it is perfect for that. Mom and I have already been on several biking expeditions with this. Does have dual exhaust, aftermarket. I believe that is Flowmaster exhaust on here. Haven't had it up on the lift to be sure, but judging by the sound, it would not surprise me. Let's see, hitch. This is a 5,000 or 10,000 pound rated hitch. Again, there's your connection for the trailer. It does have the trailer brake controls inside, and that was one thing that was very important to me. If I was going to get another vehicle, it was going to have the tow hitch with the trailer package, just in case we need to tow a trailer. This does not have the doors. This has the tailgate on it. So basically what you do, and I actually have the remote here with me. You can see it right there. You go ahead and push that twice to release the tailgate. You pull this, and you pull the tailgate up, or the glass, I should say, up, and then you go ahead and pull the handle again, and the tailgate comes down. Plenty of room in the back. I have been doing a lot of hauling with this, so I have one of these carpet, what do they call these? Carpet protectors or moving blankets. A little bit of storage here on the side. Pull that off. Get a little extra storage in there. Very nice. The previous owner put an Igloo toolbox. I'm just keeping some of my various tools in here for now. Nothing super special. I got some bungee cords and things in there. Coming to this side of the vehicle, again, the sides are very nice. I mean, I can even see my reflections in the side. Again, there's the LS, it's the LS trim. and it is a 1500. So this is the quarter ton. Does have running boards on it, which are still in very, very nice shape. And that is the full way around. So let's go ahead and head inside. Oh, before I do that, I will show you a couple of things that I did. The roof had totally been faded. So if you look up here, I spent the last few days spray painting, and it actually came out pretty good. It's still drying at the moment. I probably shouldn't be touching it, but you get the idea. I just got cans of spray paint from Walmart, and I went ahead and spray painted the entire roof here, including the roof rack. I might need to put another coat on there. Now, in the future, if I decide to keep this for any length of time, I will consider getting it professionally done, at least the roof and the hood, maybe repainting the whole vehicle, but I want to make sure this is going to be a very reliable vehicle in the long run, which I honestly think it will be. So let's go ahead and head inside. I should have it unlocked. Being the LS trim, which is kind of the lower middle trim, this actually has the cloth seats, which are in decent shape. The only real damage was here, and Mom was gracious enough to go ahead and stitch that up, and you can't hardly tell that it even was a rip there. A few of the things that I had to do personally, I had to replace the hood latch here. It was all broken off. I actually had to put a new brake release handle, which I'm zooming in for you guys there. But the hood latch and the brake release handle are new. Now, the hood latch went on easily. That I just had to remove this trim piece here, and I went ahead and put a new one on. It just bolts on to the A-pillar there. The brake release handle was a little bit trickier. Basically, the clips had broken off, so what I did, if I pull it out here, you can see that screw right there. I actually drilled a hole in the new handle and then threw what was left of the brake cable and went ahead and put a screw in there. So now it functions normally, though I honestly don't want to do that too much because it really isn't quite as strong as it would have been from the factory. I did get new floor mats. I got these Goodyear, just black rubber mats from Walmart. The ones that were in here were pretty much perished, and they were missing in the back. Nice amount of storage in here, to be honest with you. You got the center console, got a lot of storage there. You got little pockets up here. Got cup holders here. Now this was a combo. You can actually pull this out and you can replace it with a CD holder. Now this was actually broken when I first got it. I actually had to glue it together. If you look close, you can probably see my piss poor gluing job there. It was just super glue, but hey, it works, right? Go ahead and put that back in. And let's go in and start it up so you guys can hear that beautiful exhaust. Another thing I had to do, and YouTube user Eric Brunhammer warned me about this, these steering columns, they always come apart. So what I did is I took some super glue and I had to glue this back together because there were times that this was moving around so much when I was steering, it would bind up with the steering wheel. So that was something that I had to do early on before I could actually drive this vehicle daily. Mileage on this is 227,803 miles. So it does have some miles, but they're all highway miles. Let's go ahead and start her up for you guys. Turn the AC down. Starts right up. No typical Vortec piston slap. This engine has been rebuilt fairly recently and is in fantastic shape. Sounds so sweet. Good oil pressure, especially when you get on it. You can see it go up. The temperature stays at about 160 degrees. I'll probably have to change that for winter time because it doesn't quite produce enough heat. I'll have to put in a 190 temp thermostat. Charge is good, right around 14 volts, and I just filled up the gas tank, which I tell you, you will be doing a lot with a vehicle like this. So a few other things I had to do inside. We'll go ahead and shut it off. I had to, and pull the key out, of course, I had to replace the visors. The original visors in here were totally perished, and that is an Achilles heel of these particular GM vehicles. These are not perfect. These I actually picked up out of a junkyard. The mirrors are both shot in them. This one I actually just got an aftermarket mirror from Walmart. Hey everybody. This particular one still has the mirror in it, but you can see that the cover is broken. This still has the original vanity mirror. So what I did when I installed these, I went ahead and fished the cables through, but I did not hook them up because, let's face it, both the mirrors were broken, and if I hooked that one up, it would be running the batteries down. Got map lights here. They all work just fine. Got a place for your garage door opener, storage for sunglasses, and then you got another storage compartment up there. The headliner is good, but it's not perfect. Got a few little holes there, probably from somebody's cigarette burns. But other than that, the headliner is in decent shape. Door panels for this kind of mileage are surprisingly in very good shape. The speakers have been replaced, and it does have an aftermarket stereo. One thing I had to do before I started driving this, the original mirror, this original side mirror was completely broken. The clips were broken, the mirror was just flopping all over the place. So I went to my local pick and pull, and I was able to find another one off of a 97 Yukon. So this is not the original mirror that came with this vehicle, but luckily it was black and it just matched perfectly. Very easy to change. I never did one before, so it was kind of challenging for me. Took me about a half an hour. Probably would take a mechanic about 5 or 10 minutes, but you have to pull this inspection cover off, pull the foam out, and then there's 3 bolts back there. You undo it, you pull the old mirror out. You do have to pull the power cable out because these are powered mirrors, and then you just do the reverse to go ahead and install it. So not a bad job at all. This is a power seat right here. The other side is manual, and I believe they do work. Yep, power seats do work, back and forth, up and down, and then tilting. Everything works there. Again, kind of surprising for a vehicle with this kind of mileage. Let's go ahead and show you guys the back here. All right, so now we come to the back, and you can see that it's in really good shape. I have new floor mats here. These came with the ones that came in the front, and it protects pretty much both sides. Got little net storage here, a little stretched out, but still usable. Mom puts her drink back there when we're traveling. Got cup holders right there in the back, 2 there, and then you got some more storage down here. A couple of things I had to do to the back. I had to get new cigarette, or yeah, I guess they are cigarette ashtrays for both sides. This side was missing totally, and the other one, the cover was broken, just didn't look that good. So I got these from the same junkyard, got these out of that 97 Yukon and glued them in. Another thing I had to do was I had to replace this rear dome light here, and it's not a perfect fit. You can see it's kind of angled. That's because it came out of a different vehicle, but it does work. I might try to find some way in the near future to kind of get that more even, because that kind of bothers me with my ADD, but you know what? It works. The map lights work, so I'm probably just going to leave it alone for now. Go ahead and shut this. And when you shut the tailgate on these, you really need to know what you're doing, kind of. You have to shut the tailgate part first, and then you shut the glass. You have to do it that way, or you could do some damage. And you can see it is a Chevrolet Tahoe, or in this case, it's a Chevrolet Tahoe. Somebody must have hit this at one point and the E and the T broke off. I am looking for a new badge, but that's low on my priority list. The bumper's in good shape. Only thing I really had to do was glue this back on. This was loose and just flopping all over the place. I got some 3M emblem adhesive, and that kept it down just fine. And once again, the main reason I picked this up was because I wanted to be able to have something to put the bike rack on, and this is really doing very well for that purpose. All right, and now it is time to look at the engine. So go ahead and pull that. It's a little tricky to do one-handed, but I'm going to go ahead and try it, because you actually have to kind of push down on the hood as you pull the lever. And I'm not going to be able to do this one-handed, so I'm going to pause the camera and I'll show you what it looks like once I get this open. All right, and here we go. This is the 5.7 liter Vortec V8 in all of its V8 gloriness. This particular one is rated at 250 horsepower at 3,200 RPM and 302 foot-pounds of torque. You can see it's had some work done to it. Specifically, right before I got it, it had the plugs and the wires changed. You can see the wires are pretty new. Of course, you can't see the spark plugs, but I can assure you that they were done recently. Battery was replaced over the last year or so, and the previous owner did a very good job. Even the air cleaner in this is perfectly clean. So the previous owner took very, very good care of this vehicle. The only thing that Dad and I had to do mechanically to it was we needed to put one more can of refrigerant, or coolant I should say, in the AC system, and we did that yesterday. Oddly enough, a funny story, he had to do it through the low end because with his new gauges, the high end tap wasn't working properly. There was something going on with the spring, so we had to put it in the low end, which is okay. I mean, it's not ideal. Ideally, you don't want to do it that way, but it worked, and let's face it, it was only one can of Freon. And if you guys don't believe me, there is that Vortec logo right there. This would be the first year. The year before this was the older 350 that was rated at about 200 horsepower. So for the 1996 model year, this gained about 50 horsepower, and with the Flowmaster or the performance exhaust I have on here, probably going to have to add another 20 or so horsepower. So this is probably sitting at about 270, maybe 275 horsepower. All right, and for the very last thing, let's go for a little drive here. Oh, she rides so nice. Now, I will have to put the AC on a little bit because it is very, very hot out today. Shifts into gear just fine. And it shifts through all the gears. Absolutely flawlessly smooth. It's amazing, and this is rocking the original transmission as far as I know. The owner that I bought this from said this is the original tranny. Absolutely flawless shifting. And again, looking at the oil pressure is good. Coolant temperature stays right where it should. Go ahead and go down the street here real quick. And it does have an aftermarket radio there. It wouldn't have been my first choice. Me being a stickler for originality, I honestly would have preferred to have the original radio. And YouTube user Eric Brunhammer says that he might actually still have one. So if I can get one from him, I will probably put the original radio back in here. You can see the switch for the rear windshield wiper and washers. Both work still fine. That releases the rear hatch if you don't want to use the key fob. And this is the four-wheel drive model, and this has the on-the-fly four-wheel drive, and it's the electronic. So basically, if you want to go in a four-wheel drive mode, you just go ahead and push the 4 high, and you can do that as long as you're driving straight. But if you want to go into 4 low, you do have to stop the vehicle for that. But it's a nice touch. It makes it more easier to operate than the older ones that would have had the shifter right there on the floor. Does have AC. Again, this being the LS platform, it doesn't have climate control. It's just the regular old school heat and AC controls, which work perfectly fine. And again, shifts perfectly smooth. The engine sounds fantastic. Very, very happy with this vehicle so far. You know, only time will tell as to how reliable it will be, but judging by the, I don't know, 200 to 300 miles I've put on it so far, it looks to be a very, very reliable vehicle in the long run. All right, tubers, that is it for the review of my 1996 Chevy Tahoe LS. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more updates on this vehicle coming soon. Please continue to like and subscribe. And as always, have a blessed day, everybody.